Welcome to Module 2, Knowing What You're Good For. In this module, we will talk about knowing yourself and your limits. We will do one more mindfulness exercise before we leave those for a number of modules. We will talk about doing your best and not judging yourself. We'll talk about setting yourself up for success, particularly around major projects, what to do before, during, and after major projects to make sure that you can be as successful as possible. I will also touch on your challenge zone and your ideal challenge zone and what that means. We'll go into a little bit about adapting everything actually in the world, including this course, to make sure that it meets your needs and that you're able to get as much out of it as possible, as well as planning for bad stuff to happen. So first off, I want to make sure that you know that just like these cherry blossoms, you are unique, just like everyone else. It is important to know yourself and know your limits. So we all have the same human limitations, and yet each of us is unique and just a little bit different. And when I talk about knowing your limits, it's not just knowledge, it's not just what you know. A lot of it is practical factors like your energy level, your finances, how your love life is going, if you've had any recent breakup or any other recent hard knocks, how is your confidence right now? All of those things factor into what your limits are at this point. And your limits are different from a day-to-day basis and sometimes on a minute-to-minute basis. An example of this is myself as a family nurse practitioner. I worked as a nurse practitioner for a number of years, and I still do on occasion. It is always extremely important to know what I am able to do on any given day. And over time you get a good sense of that, but it was something that I really struggled with when I first started as a nurse practitioner because I wanted to do everything. I wanted to help everybody. I wanted to be everywhere and everyone to all of the patients, and ended up working 110 to 120 hours a week for about 6 months or possibly a year, and being utterly miserable. Once I took a step back and started recognizing what my limits were, not just to my knowledge base, because of course, even when I first started, I was well aware of when somebody was outside of my jurisdiction medically and when I needed to refer them on to a specialist or talk to one of my colleagues. But also, what was my energy like that day? Had I seen 8 patients that morning or 16 patients that morning? All of these things can take their toll on what your limits are in any given situation. So after about 6 months, I started recognizing what my confidence limits were, what my time limits were, and what my energy limits were, and was much more able to be much more understanding of that as I went through my day.